What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode to the show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm your host, Andrew Parker, and today's guest, I'm dipping into the Los Angeles Angels system here. We have Ryan Nicholson on. He was a 10th round pick in the 2024 draft, and he's beginning his first full season of professional ball there for the Angels in High A. And I had him on because he was fresh off winning a Player of the Week award for High A for his performance that he had last week. Before I jump into the interview, though, whether you're watching me on YouTube right now, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please give me 5-star rating, subscribe, do whatever you got to do, comment, tell me I'm doing a bad job, good job. I don't care what it is. It helps me out a ton. Any feedback is always helpful. But yeah, without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Ryan Nicholson. All right, I am joined by Ryan Nicholson of the Los Angeles Angels system. And if that name rings a bell, it's because the guy has been on fire to start the year. He just came off a Player of the Week honor there in High A. So I want to dive right into that, Ryan. Actually, obviously you've had a fantastic start to your year. You're on fire at the plate. How has that been? How's that felt to kind of get off to a start like you did?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to season starts, you want to be ready. You want to think you're ready to, hit the ground running. And I honestly just wanted to get my feet wet, try to put some good at bats together and string some wins together. I really anticipate, just like the week that I had for first week, but now now you want to obviously replicate it week to week. It's not going to happen, but it was definitely a really good start to the season. So I've no complaints there.
Yeah, and you kind of brought something up. It was about getting your feet wet, and you did that last year after the draft. I saw you had a very small sample size there in Low A, and then you appeared in 3 games in Double A. But how important was that for you to kind of get that confidence that you made your pro debut already right after the draft, and you're like, okay, I can hit professional pitching, and so how important was that for you to have that experience last year heading into this year?
I think it was massive actually. Just playing, getting done with college, getting done with the postseason, Omaha, everything, just kind of a whirlwind. And then you got the draft, and then they're like, all right, we're going to send you out, less than a month after everything. Um, and just going into, that late in the season there, that last month or so, and just kind of getting a taste of this is how you pitch, this is how, you go about your day, this is how, you go about your business pregame and everything. And then, going through the off season, then starting back this year, get back into the same routines and same everything really. I thought was, good to have last year. So I can kind of try and find my routine again, what I did, what I liked, what I didn't, and then kind of just refine it and keep going.
So, you brought up something too that I wanted to ask about. You brought up kind of like your routine, kind of getting the swing of things. And I feel like a lot of fans out there probably don't understand just how big of a difference playing college baseball is to pro affiliate ball
Yeah.
in the minor leagues. You're playing 6 days a week, and the travel schedule is very different than it is in college. So, what kind of things did you notice right away, whether it was last season or even to start this year, that you kind of had to get adjusted to a little bit, and just with the affiliate style of ball?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is, it's your career, right? What are you doing for your career in college? You have structured stuff, structured meetings, structured time for specific things. That's when you do it. Whether that's treatment or, infield or, hitting or anything baseball related, scouting, whatever. In professional, it's all on you. It's on you if you want to look at the pitcher before. It's on you if you want to look at tendencies. It's on you if how much you want to hit, if you want to hit that day or not. Get extra infield, get extra treatment, whatever. It's on you. So early on, it was kind of interesting to look at. I was looking at a lot of different players I was playing with, who have been in professional for a little bit, and just kind of like taking things from like, okay, like what do they do pregame? Like, what do they do to get ready? What does this guy do to get ready? What does this guy like to watch? When he's scouting the starter for that day. So just kind of picking different things from different people, finding what works for me, and then kind of making it my own.
So I do want to ask a little bit about your first professional off season that you did just go through. And, obviously you had gotten to make your professional debut before heading into the off season and ramping up for your first spring training as well. But over the off season, what kind of things did you work on? Was there any specific parts of your game that, you wanted to target? Or did the organization give you something that they thought like, hey, you should work on this or whatever it is? Like, was there anything for you that you worked on this off season?
I remember just going into the off season, our head hitting coordinator, Phil Plantier, came to me and was like, "Hey, like this is going to be your longest baseball season you've ever played in your entire life, like this upcoming year." So he was like, "I want you to take like some serious time off, like put the bat down, give yourself like, a serious amount of time to kind of recover and, get your mind right for this next season." And then yeah, it was basically just kind of they want me to, obviously hit the ball hard, hit the ball on a line. They don't really want me to be a, high strike like all or nothing homer gaps and line drives. That I think that's my game, and so they want me to do that, and yeah, really just kind of like ease in to the off season. Like I took a lot of time off early on, and then like I baseball wise, I took a lot of time off. I stayed lifting, just being smart how I lifted, how much I was doing. Obviously don't want to hurt myself. Like it's the off season, so just got to be smart, and then kind of ease myself back into hitting, and then to fielding, and kind of getting your body ready to ramp up for a long season.
And that kind of leads you into your first ever professional spring training this past spring. And obviously, I know you were on the minor league side of things, and you might not have been up close and personal in the locker room and stuff with some of the big league guys. But what was some of the experience throughout spring, and just obviously being around every single guy in the organization there at one time? Like, so what was that like for you getting to go through that for the first time?
It was a little, it was a lot, like, early on, like, I knew it was gonna be a lot, just, everybody in the org, right? Like, everybody in the org's there, but it was super fun, like, everyone is, like, wants to everyone's wants to do the same thing, like, everyone has the same routine, so everyone's kinda, like, having a good time together. I feel like, the spirits and everything are everyone's usually in a good mood, right? Like, it's we're getting back into baseball season, I feel like everyone's got a smile on their face, but yeah, like I had a chance to back up a couple of the big league games watching, those guys up in the show. Just like how they go about their business pregame, and how they do stuff, how they carry themselves, how they walk to the plate, or even when they talk to you, if you have anything to ask them, they're all like super nice, very just giving of their knowledge of like what they've gone through. So that was super cool to kind of pick some of their guys' brains. But spring training, the first one this year was really cool. Looking forward to more, but yeah, it was a good time.
Now, I know that obviously, you played in the SEC in college, and that baseball conference is the best baseball conference in the country. So I know that you've played against a lot of guys that have gone on to I feel like you've probably played against some guys that have made their MLB debut by now. But for you in spring training, did you have like a pinch me moment where you're kind of just like, okay, like that's a little crazy. I'm standing next to this guy, or I'm looking right at this guy. Did you have any moment like that when you
Yeah,
first got in there?
yeah, I was backing up a game against the Rangers uh, at home, and I backed up like a little bit. I backed up, I think, like 3 or 4 games before this. Um, but I grew up a big Cubs fan. I was a huge Cubs fan growing up. Um, we lived in Chicagoland, like we lived in Barrington, which is like the northwest suburbs, and we lived there. When I was growing up, and we ended up moving to Louisville. But like my dad's side's very big Cubs fans. So when they won in 16, like it was a big deal. And when I got in to play first base, Kyle Hendricks was pitching, and
Ooh.
I was like, he like came over and like picked over whoever was on first base, and I was like, holy, like I just Kyle Hendricks just threw me the ball. I'm gonna throw it back to him now. Like, but that was, and we had a guy, one of our catchers, Colin Summerhill, he's from Chicagoland too, and he came to me after, he's like, dude, like Kyle Hendricks like threw you the ball. I was like, yeah, I know, but that was kind of the only one because me and him were both big Cubs, big Cubs guys. But yeah, that was probably the only one where I was like, that was really cool. But obviously, you had to be in game mode, But that one from when Hendricks was pitching was really cool.
Yeah, sometimes I don't get how some of you guys can just be like cool, calm, collected. Like you said, you were a big Cubs fan growing up. Like every single one of you guys was rooting for some team, some players growing up, and then they turn pro, and then there's like, hey, look, there's Justin Verlander over there in
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
dugout as me or whoever, and it's like it's pretty cool, man. It's like it's kind of cool that it happens and kind of comes full circle like that, and you're just like, wow, I never would have thought I'd be in this position, most likely. So it's always cool to hear those stories. I like those.
yeah.
But so obviously you head out of spring training, you go to high A. What have your thoughts been? I guess just at the level. I don't know if you count the 3 games you got into at Double A last year. I don't know if you count those as like a I don't know, like a telling experience. But what have you thought so far of high A?
Yeah, and high A, really just like getting used to the like the terrain out here. Like I've never been to the Pacific Northwest, so I feel like I've played baseball like everywhere in this country except for really the Pacific Northwest. So just cool to kind of like our first like when we were driving from Pasco here to Eugene, like it was super pretty, like just how everything is like with the like it obviously rains a lot, but like the forest and the greenery and everything, it was just like some I've never really seen before. Like the trees like threw me, the trees were super weird, but um yeah, like just getting used to that, playing out here. I think it's a cool league. There's not a ton of teams, but there's a lot of really good talent. And yeah, I would say like Double A last year, like appeared in 3 games at the end, but it was cool to see like how the difference was from low A to Double A. But definitely, I think like high A right now is very interesting. We're just kind of still very new to me right now. Like we're only a week in or so, but just taking it day by day and just kind of doing my thing.
So I talked about it as we opened, and obviously you're fresh off a Player of the Week award there for all of High A. Was that something that you even thought you would accomplish this early on? I know it's not like a prestigious award, and you might have some bigger goals in mind, but just being like acknowledged for your start like you have, and just having the week that you had, like, was it kind of cool to just like kind of see, like, you were all over the minor league baseball page and everything like that. So like, how cool was that to kind of get acknowledged for that?
Yeah, I mean it's sweet. Like I don't go into like I don't think players, including myself, like I don't go into the week like, all right, like I'm gonna try and win player of the week. Like it's I don't know, you just go up there like at bat to at bat and you get a hit, you're like, great, like, that worked out. And if you didn't, you're like, damn, and you go back to the dugout. It's not like I feel like it wasn't that serious. I knew at the end of the week I was like just kind of looking, I was like, I had a really good week. Like that was a really good week. And then, you get your accolades or whatever after and I could, I could be terrible this week. I could be, probably the worst player. I mean, who knows? Like, so you just kind of like, you just gotta, I feel like I humble myself a lot where I try not to get too, you don't want to get your head, you don't want to pump your tires too much, but yeah, like just take it day by day, week by week, it could be totally different. It could be great. It could be terrible, but I keep try to tell myself that, it'll all be, it's a roller coaster, man. So you just got to take it day by day, really.
Yeah, I feel like I heard a quote over Masters weekend by Max Homa. I don't know if you're into golf, but he was kind of saying it's like, the game of golf is very similar to baseball, where it's like, you think you're doing so well and everything's going your way. And then the game of golf and baseball just humbles you real
Yeah,
fast. So
1000%. That's why I'm like, can't get too big. Can't think you're the man or something, because then something's gonna happen and you're gonna get absolutely destroyed. I know that happens. It's happened to me before, so it's happened to everybody playing this game. So you just gotta keep your head on straight and just keep looking forward.
all right, I got two random questions left. I'm about to let you slide. They're not baseball related, so
Okay,
sorry to
sweet.
sorry to catch you off guard here, but
No, I love these questions.
all right, cool. I have had a few position players, I guess even on the show, and I've talked to over the last year or so, and a lot of them keep telling me this hot take. Well, first off, I'm gonna ask: are you into golf?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So do you golf regularly? Is that something you do, like maybe once it starts warming up consistently? Is that something you're gonna be doing on your off days?
Yeah, if I can get my clubs out here, but me and my friends back home, we have like a tournament, like we not tournament, but like we play like every year, like all the time, like when we're back, and like it's always the same teams, like just just giving it to each other the whole time, a lot of bragging rights and a lot of, trash talk. But and I'd say my friends back home they play more than me, but we compete pretty well. So yeah, we're all into golf.
Okay. Well, my question is this then. I had Cole Mathis on this show. He got drafted by the Cubs this past year, but he's the one that brought this to my attention. And I've asked a few position guys about this, and some of them are agreeing with him. So I need to know what your take is on this. Do you think, as a position player, that your golf swing can start to creep into your baseball swing? Like, do you feel like that it translates at all?
I don't know, just because I feel like it would feel different um, when you interlock your hands. So like when I feel like when I interlock my hands when I'm playing golf, like it completely, like, I don't know, uses a different part of my brain or something, because when I like grab the club and I'm interlocking my hands to swing, like I don't think baseball at all. Now, like if you were to sit behind me and probably watch me swing, you'd probably be like, oh, like he's a baseball player, right? Like he's a swinger. But he, I don't know. I don't think I don't think so. But like I've never like interlocked my hands like when I'm holding a baseball bat. So I don't know. I just think I use two different parts of my brain when I'm playing golf and playing baseball. I do think that like when you do play golf and then go back to hitting, like I do think like you could get like a little bit, like you might be like, oh, like I'm lifting the ball a little bit better this week or something to that effect. But um, I feel like that's the only thing that I think I could take from both.
Yeah, I obviously I wouldn't know. I'm not a professional hitter, but I just have heard many guys tell me they're just like, I'm scared to do it. Like I just think that it's gonna mess with it. But then somebody did tell me that even Mike Trout golfs like all the time, and he hits how he hits. So it's like if he can do it, like anybody can do it as a hitter. So I don't
There's
know.
a lot of a lot of position players I think like who like to go out and hit the links on the off day. But yeah, I think it's all mental. Some guys are like, hey, like I'm so dialed in right now with my baseball swing, like I don't want to screw anything up, this, that, and the other. And some guys are like, my swing is my swing. So when I put the spikes on, like my swing is going to be what it is, and when I go out and play golf, my golf swing is going to be what it is. So two guys, like two completely different takes, but yeah, I think it just varies on the person, obviously.
Yeah, I'm with you. I talk to too many pitchers, obviously, because the pitchers don't care. Obviously
Yeah, they
they're
love to
all
get out there.
they
They're so
love it.
lucky.
They are out there all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how many clubhouses I've been in, and I just see all the pitchers golf stuff everywhere. It's like,
Yep.
yeah, we're not pitching today, so all the starters are going out. So,
Yeah.
all right, last question here. It's an important one. I've actually asked this to a lot, just about everybody that comes on the show. But are you a food guy at all?
Yeah, I'd say.
Like, I guess in particular, like, do you like chains? Like, do you like sit down chains? Do you like fast food chains? Do you like any of those?
Can you say that again? You just cut out for a sec. Sorry.
Like, do you like chains? Like, do you like fast food chains, sit down chains, anything like that? Like restaurant
Yeah.
chains?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you, I need a Mount Rushmore
Yeah.
from you.
Mount
Um,
Rushmore for chain what chains?
like sit down restaurants or drive through. So I just need your top four of all time between the two of them. Like you can put like two sit downs, two fast foods. You can do one, three, you do whatever.
Give me an example for like a sit down.
For example, my number one in my heart will forever be Texas Roadhouse.
Okay. Texas Roadhouse.
See,
Okay,
I
so
didn't
I'll
want to give
go.
you one, but
No, I don't think Texas Roadhouse was gonna be on mine. There's not a ton of
nice.
Texas Roadhouses where I'm from.
That's true. That's
But
fair.
um so like number one, I'd go right now. Chain. Oh man. When I was over the break, like my friends were obsessed with Chili's.
Ooh.
They were always going, always wanted to go to get the triple dipper or whatever.
Yep.
So we do that a lot. I think you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A hits every hour of the day unless it's Sunday.
Good
Um,
call.
Other than that, man, I like. Yeah, let me try and think. Some other three. I'm trying to think of like restaurants too.
I mean, you're missing a lot of like very popular ones I'm getting every time.
Like fast food or
Like
um
you're missing like the number one burrito bowl place in America that every baseball player eats.
oh, Chipotle.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
it's
Chipotle's stock. Chipotle is such a stock answer. Like, yeah, Chipotle is great. I love Chipotle. Everyone loves Chipotle, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna try and use something else.
I appreciate that. It's just like clockwork though. You ask this
I
question, they're like
know.
Chipotle,
No,
Chipotle,
everyone freaks
Chick-fil-A.
out over Chipotle. Everyone freaks out about it. It's solid, but it gets kind of boring after a while, in my opinion. Um, In-N-Out's good. Like, I know people from the East Coast are like In-N-Out's super overrated, but
Yeah.
when you have spring training in Arizona and you can kind of like dabble in that, that's a good one. I'd probably put that one in the middle. That's probably a good three spot. Um, I would throw like a B Dubs like
Ooh.
um I actually I probably used to throw like a B Dubs in there. Feel like it just hasn't been um like as up to standard, I feel like,
It
as
went
people.
down.
I mean, like back home, like a lot of my friends again, like we would go like, hey, like, are you gonna celebrate on Thursday? Are we celebrating? Like it would be celebrating like the what was it, the 50 cent wings, the half price wings on
Yeah.
BOGO. It's like,
Yep.
are we gonna go celebrate on Thursday or no? But um there is I'll go I'll go chain now, but like there's actually, no, I don't know if that place is a chain. It was like a restaurant in Lexington. I don't think it's a chain though. It was kind of like steakhouse, but like nice restaurant. But it like has like everything under the sun. It's called like Carson's. It's awesome.
Okay. Is it just Kentucky based, you think?
I don't know, honestly.
I might let it slide.
I know it's in Lexington. And it's like, I don't know. It was a really good restaurant. You could go there for like lunch, dinner, whatever. We would go there as like a team sometimes just to like get something to eat super late or whatever. Not super late, but like for dinner. And then I feel like it's so weird because like I feel like I have a different like view of like chains right now because like the East Coast to the West Coast
Oh
chains is
yeah,
so different.
and the Midwest version too. It's just
And the
like
Midwest too. Like
it's just crazy.
I feel like the Midwest is pretty stock, and then the East Coast has like some different ones, and then like the West Coast out here is like super different. Like I remember like when we were in Oregon this past week, like trying to find something to eat is so difficult because you don't know any of the places comparative to, the East Coast.
Yeah, very very different.
I'd throw Wendy's in there at the end. I know that's kind of like a basic answer, but like I feel like they know what they are. They're not trying to be anything that they're not trying to be anything more. They're not trying to, hit it out of the park or whatever. They're just, they know what they are. They know what they do well. Yeah, I'll probably go Wendy's as like a five for lack of knowledge of what I want to go with. But yeah, I'd probably go with those five.
I was a little surprised that you left off a Midwest staple that I don't know if
Oh,
they're actually
yeah,
in
actually, no,
Kentucky.
I'll take that out, and I'll throw this one at the two. I'll go Portillo's at like probably my one or two
Mm,
because there is a Portillo's out here, not here right now, but in Arizona. But it's just like it doesn't taste the same as if you were to be like in like Chicago. So I don't know. I think the beef just doesn't taste the same from the one in Arizona than the one in Chicago. But Portillo's every time I'm in Chicago, we go. My dad will have like the beef like shipped from Chicago to
ooh, okay.
Kentucky. We use like the hot peppers, the jardiniere, like we'll have like in stock in our garage like fridge. So yeah, I'm surprised that one didn't come to my mind. I was thinking of chains out here, but yeah, Portillo's is 100% in there.
Would you be stunned if I told you that I live in the Dallas area and there is probably five Portillos around me?
I wouldn't be shocked. I know
They're
I
everywhere,
feel
man.
like everyone and their mother's moving to Dallas right now. It's a hot spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd be lucky to have Portillo's there. I wish there was one in Kentucky, but there isn't. And I bet you my dad's probably been like sending emails to customer service telling them to get them one there. But
Well, I was the only Chicago place I'm really missing down here is Lou Malnati's, but we get that
yeah,
shipped to us.
solid.
We get it shipped to us frozen, and we keep a few of them in the freezer, and they're absolutely amazing, even though it's not fresh. But you
Yeah,
can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
no, can't beat it.
All right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate the I guess the time and obviously the Mount Rushmore restaurant talk. I always appreciate it, but obviously best of luck going forward the rest of the year. And I'm gonna have to hit you back up in the off season because I like doing some like non-baseball little podcasts here that talk about a lot of the off-field stuff. I feel like you'd be a good guy for that. But
Yeah, sweet.
um,
Sounds good.
awesome. But thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.